Man to Fish is founded out of the idea that if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. It's about the idea that it's not enough to give handouts, you need to give people a hand up, and that's genuine empowerment. So we do that in education, and our model is education that pays for itself.
We need problem solvers. We need solution creators. So this is what this education has to do, is produce real solution creators, not people who sit around and moan from the back benches somewhere in poverty.
It's the idea that a school can also stand at its own feet, and it doesn't need to rely on government handouts. It can create school businesses, use those businesses to teach, use those businesses to generate income, and ultimately use those businesses to create the next generation of entrepreneurs that will change their societies.
It's important for us to know that we can't make a meaningful difference sitting in our offices. We must make a meaningful difference and be involved with the people that we're looking to serve, and also involved with the communities from which we draw our staff, because Standard Bank isn't bricks and mortar. It's about people, and these people that make up Standard Bank are affected and impacted by education, the challenges in that, as well as the health and wellness aspect of things, and enterprise development.
Corporates have a potentially huge role, which is why we're so proud that Standard Bank's chosen to sponsor this conference. Corporates are the lifeblood of an economy. They represent the future employers. They represent an existing pool of know-how, experience and entrepreneurial talent. If we can link corporates with schools, we can ensure that the education that's received is appropriate for the job market and truly entrepreneurial.
I think schools that pay for themselves can have a terrific impact on the social environment. They can show students schools standing on their own 2 feet, not subservient to governments. They can show that they're part of an education revolution that can show a different way of delivering education. I think they have a terrific impact.
Well, there are two problems affecting the poor, mostly in rural areas: access to education and quality of education. Sometimes the poor can't go to school, but many times the poor can go to school, but the quality of the courses is very bad. So education that pays for itself is an effort to address the problems of access and quality, and it sort of solves the problem of transferring skills that the poor need to help themselves out of poverty in a sustainable way.
We've got a population globally that is doubling every 10 years. We've got a global financial crisis, and it's simple as every parent wants the very best for their children, and every generation wants the next generation to be better off than they were. And if our education keeps going up and up and up, and we see it as a black hole, we need to make education far more resilient and sustainable to teach resilience and sustainability for future generations.
And what we're aiming at is nothing less than changing the world. Schools like this collectively can change the world. There are hundreds of millions of students who are out of education. They can be in education if we build more institutions like this, and when they go home, they'll change their families, they'll change their societies, and as they progress through life, they'll change their nations.
for me, this is really about an amazing community of people coming together and creating a community of practice where everybody's out there experimenting and saying, we may not know exactly where we're going, but we know that where we come from is not good enough. So we're going to start the journey across the desert. And it's meeting with so many people who are crossing the desert into this new promised land that really this whole thing represents. And that's why it's exciting. Everybody's learning from each other. Everybody's out there. Everybody's caring and feeling and trying their best. And it's through the sharing and knowing that you've got a family of people around the world doing this that I think gives us all the encouragement to take our work further.
There are a lot of people here who are trying to make a difference. And only through those people, this groundswell of making a difference, are we truly going to make a difference. I keep saying that in our case, in Ecuador, the real change is when other students can see what our students are doing, which we are opening up this opportunity. And they're going back and saying to their school principals, we want this, we want a change. And it's a grassroots movement, and it takes time. But that's, to me, is the only way we're really going to see change. Because from the top down, it's so bureaucratic and so politically charged that it's going to be hard to change from the top. It's going to have to come from the bottom.
Hi, we're Teach a Man to Fish, and we're really enjoying being part of this marketplace. The idea we're selling today is the idea of a self-sufficient school, that a school can pay for itself entirely through its own businesses. And the people are loving it. We're running out of brochures at the moment, so I'd recommend this as an approach for any kind of conference. It's so much more fun than just sitting around in small groups. It really gets people out there and brings down the barriers.
I think it's a wonderful thing as part of the conference because we get to share ideas and see what works and what doesn't work.
It creates knowledge for our mechanics work. So there's a whole schooling side to it. With the Eden campus, we're looking into getting pupils schooled because they also do the self-entrepreneur thing. So therefore they can run the business and get involved with getting knowledge on mechanical things. This can lead to other things, brush cutter motors, lawn mowers, motor cars, electric motors and so forth.
Being in the marketplace today has been fabulous because it's an opportunity to showcase exactly what we're doing. We have an art shop and we teach the kids, our students, how to actually brand and sell, which is one of our important things.
So from TIBA Education, we're selling education, business degree. We say free to think, so we make thinking free, so you can be free to think. Really, starting your own businesses, making money from them.
So we're an educational television show in Ethiopia, doing preschool and kindergarten work that's broadcast nationally on TV in Ethiopia. We reach about 5 million kids with our content. And these are all kids that don't have access to preschools or kindergartens. There's a lot of research showing that television is a very effective way to educate children on a preschool level. So much research on how to do it and what the impact of it is.
Okay, this is it, guys. The market has happened. It's been awesome. Instead of us having a series of PowerPoints, presentations, people sharing their ideas that way, it's been a marketplace of unleashing ideas, global ideas, changing the world. Isn't this beautiful?
Very simply, learning solutions off the shelf that are very simple to apply, musical, interactive, and fun.
That looks good that you're wearing pink.
I met a lot of creative people and I learned a lot of things, and I'm sure all this knowledge I gather from here will help my business in Ethiopia to grow. So I'm happy to be here.
what we can give to society if we work in group. Those are the things that I learned here.
What I'm taking home now is self-responsibility, self-sustainability.
We need to teach education that benefits the child at the end of the day.
You know, there are huge difficulties, but difficulties that we can overcome, particularly working together like at this conference.
What we need to do is we need to engage in these matters in such a way that we uplift the spirit of people, that we contribute to restoring the dignity.
The success is based on our graduates. As far as coming up with the ideas and the methods for the school to be self-sustaining, that's the challenge of the entrepreneur in any of these programs.
You've got to be able to develop these kind of multidisciplinary people that can go out and actually make their way in the world. They can't be pacifists watching life.
The answer, and it's always, and it's literally there, it's in our hands.
Let's not get tired. Let's change the world. Let's challenge the system, because the world has only improved when it has been challenged.
I like to say, bash on regardless. That's the way we're working in India. That's the way delegates should work.